Hey guys, it's Ed with CMC Reptiles. Wanted to do a video again on the liners. I put a big order in to the mill, and was supposed to have the liners in last week. They should be in this week, just a little bit of a delay. But I did order them, and they will be in. I kind of wanted to give some more information on the paper that's being used to make these liners. Um, Basically, this is a craft paper. It is a raw material, so there is no dyes, there's no bleach, there's no chemicals in this paper at all. All that's in it is wood pulp, and they use a hot water compound with a natural fiber thrown in, and that's kind of what puts the paper together. Again, there's all kinds of different papers out there. Most of your papers have dyes, bleach, and other chemicals in it. Some papers made out of recycled paper, and that's kind of what most of your craft paper out there, like the paper you get from that, if you do buy paper like from Uline, that's fake craft paper. So that paper is actually made from recycled paper. I mean, we know all paper comes from trees, but almost all paper has dyes and bleaches in it and other types of chemicals to change the color, to change the texture. Some paper has coating on it. Some paper is UV coated. There's different type of finishes. There's linen, there's felt, matte finish, satin, all different types. It depends on what kind of ink. And because I've been in printing for, 40 years, and now I have my own business in the printing industry, I know what goes in the paper. I know what goes in the ink because I've done it. I've ran the machines. I know everything there is to know about paper, about ink, and about the chemicals that wash the press, that actually washes the ink out of the press. And it's highly toxic, all of it. There's very few papers out there that are actually FDA approved. This paper is one of them, this craft paper here. It's FDA approved. This way, basically, that means it could come in contact with food, and there's, no type of chemicals or anything that's harmful to you or anybody else or to the environment. It's safe for your animals. It's going to be safe for the environment. It's 100% recyclable. It's 100% biodegradable. And again, it's just all natural. It's, and I've been using it on all my hatchlings, and now I'm switching a lot of my ball pythons to the paper. And I've been using Reptile Prime for a couple of years. Before that, I was using cypress mulch and Repti chip. I've tried the cocoa chip, other types of coconut fiber, and to me, this stuff is the best. This paper that I'm using now, I've basically convinced to switch all my ball pythons over to the paper. I even have my bigger enclosures on the paper also. And as you can see there, I know there's a little bit of a mess there with my blood python, but he just ate, and that's what happened. That's what's left of the rat, a stain. So, and that's the other good thing about using paper is on cocoa fiber or any type of other bedding or mulch, you wouldn't be able to see all that blood or whatever's left. That can cause bacteria in the snake's enclosure. So it's a much cleaner way to go, in my opinion, is switching to paper. Now, versus other, I know other people use, blank newsprint, even other types of craft paper, and a lot of people use newspaper. The reason I would never put my animals on newspaper, because I know what we put in the ink. I know what goes in the paper. I know the chemicals we use to wash the presses. And especially the chemicals that go into the press, are highly toxic and flammable. And it's just something that I wouldn't do. It's the same analogy. If you knew what they made hot dogs out of, the stuff they put in hot dogs, you probably would never eat them. And that's kind of the way I feel about paper, the newspaper, especially newspaper with ink on it. I would never put my snakes on it. I'd rather spend the extra money to make sure my snakes are going to be healthy and, nothing, no types of, I don't know. I mean, there's no scientific proof that says newspaper is bad for your animals, but there's no scientific proof to say that it's not bad for your animals. So, I mean, I'm going with what I know, and what I know is this stuff right here is clean. And I can cut this paper to pretty much any size, any shape, any form to match any tub. And what I've done again is I've added, a lip on all four sides for the Freedom Breeder tubs. This way, if the snake makes a mess, it's not going to touch the tub. You just pull the liner out, spray the tub and put a new one in. And then again on these, most people have these tubs like I do. I mean, I have one Freedom Breeder rack, so most of my tubs are flat. So I cut it to fit, my hatchling racks, and I put the lip on there. I could even put a hide on these smaller tubs too. Like the one back there has a built-in hide. Then I have these types of hatchling racks. So I put the lip on the front and back. Basically, it fits in there perfect. And also, this one right here, this tub is basically holds my males, an adult male python, ball python. And right here is kind of what it looks like flat after it comes off the machine's die cut. That's the Freedom Breeder cut right here. And then I also cut strips like this to fit these tubs, which are Reptile Basics. Now, to kind of show you the difference between, there is a bit of a color difference between fake, the imitation kraft paper. I mean, you could see the color difference. This stuff right here is the real stuff. The stuff behind it, the lighter color stuff, is the bleached. So basically, this kind of kraft paper is made from recycled paper. And then they just basically put dyes in it to look like kraft. And I use the 20-pound bond kraft, the fake stuff. I use that for stuffing paper. Like when I ship my snakes, I also use the blank newsprint for stuffing paper to ship my steaks. But this stuff is a little bit more expensive. This type of kraft paper, because it's real. It's not made from any recycled paper, or it doesn't have any dyes or any kind of chemicals in it. But you can see the color difference, and it's almost impossible to get unless you're you're in the printing industry and you can actually have access to this stuff, because this is a mill item. It comes directly from a paper mill. You can't buy this in a store. You can't get it from Uline. You can't get it from Unisource or Michaels or Staples or any place like that. It has to come from a paper mill. It's a special ordered product. It's a mill item. Not even the big paper companies hold this. So it's actually directly from the mill. And I mean, you can actually see little pieces of wood fiber, like right here. I mean, that's a piece of wood in there. You can see the kind of little bit of wood fibers. There's another one in this stuff. And it's pretty thick too. So it's pretty absorbent. It dries out. And, after your snake does, because I actually have a few snakes, maybe one of these in here. Whoop, that guy's a little bit, as you can see right there, that's just water. But you see how it doesn't really spread out? The paper absorbs it, and eventually by tomorrow that'll be dry. That'll be dried out. And that guy looks like it's midnight right now, so these guys are like on big time feeding response. So they're all going to be right at the camera looking for food at the front of the tub. Yeah, this one too. So these are the longer tubs I have my hatchlings in here on. I'm trying to see if there's one here that may be a snake wet on, but nothing in there. But I mean, they all do really well. They shed really well on it. I got all my hatchlings over there. You can kind of see the lip of the paper all the way up to the top. All my hatchlings are on that kraft paper. They have all shed 2 or 3 times already since they've been out of the egg. They shed in one piece, no issues. So the humidity in my room is about 50%. So you figure in the tub, it's about 65% humidity with the water bowl in there. And I do have, you know, a few of my females I switched over to paper too. This girl right here. A lot of my males. And again, these guys are going to be all kind of looking for food, but they're all doing really well on this stuff. And actually, here's one that used the bathroom. That's a fresh mess. So basically, yeah, I just toss that out, spray the tub, put a new liner in, and it's good to go. So I'll have to clean that out. But again, it is like midnight right now. I'm doing this video. I just wanted to kind of get it out there. Next week, when the paper does come in, I'll do another video from start to finish of, you know, from me cutting the pallet to cutting it on my machines and creasing it on the machines, and all that'll be in the video to kind of show you from start to finish how this stuff is shaped and cut and everything else. This way you guys can kind of see exactly how it's all done from start to finish. And if you do, you know, if you want to try this stuff, just, you know, let me know. You could send me an email at CMC Reptiles at gmail.com. Send me your dimensions of your tubs, especially these ones right here. The flat ones are the ones that are going to be flying out, because I already have orders in. Ray from Euphoric actually shipped me some of his tubs. This way I get his size exact. And on one of his tubs I'm going to put a hide, and on the other one I'm just going to do the lips on the front and back for him. And also Andy from DEA Exotics, I have his dimensions. I also have Martial Law Morphs. I got his dimensions, so I'm going to be sending him some. And if you guys want to try it, price-wise, it's going to be pretty affordable, especially like on these small, the hatchling tubs. And these would be great too for if you have leopard geckos, lizards, anything. It'll work on anything. These here mid-sized tubs, you figure I could get you something like this, 500 sheets for like 55, 60 bucks. I'll give you 500 liners. So it'll be in that range plus shipping. Everything will go out UPS ground. Unless specified you want it overnight, I can do that for you. But you just let me know. I just wanted to get this video out there. And again, I will do another video from start to finish on exactly how I cut this, I shape it. I'll show you the pallet when it comes off the truck. So you can see exactly how much paper that I did order. It's about 6,000 pounds. So, I mean, that's 3 tons. Minimum order for this stuff is 10,000 sheets of 50-inch by, I got 50-inch by 40. So it can also, I could cut it for you to fit these enclosures. If you have the bigger enclosures like these, And then you just throw one sheet of paper in there. One liner will cover your whole thing. If you want, you know, you have a really big animal, because these guys have already, you know, made a mess, and I've had to clean it out a couple of times. But if they either mess on one side or the other, it absorbs on one side and they just come to the other. But you could put 2 liners down if you have a bigger snake to get, you know, for it to be more absorbent, and it works really well. The boas have all shed out on it, and they shed fine, one piece. So it works really well. It saves a ton of time. I know it's saving me a ton of time, and it's actually saved me a lot of money, because I was spending at least $200 a month on the Reptile Prime for my collection that I have. And for this, for, you know, more than half the price, I'll be spending less on using these liners. I'll have to use the Reptile Prime on like my Kenyan boas and my hognose and my milk snake, those type of things that kind of like to burrow. So I'll still use it for certain animals, but all my ball pythons are going on this paper, and the boas, of course. So it's going to work really well for me, and I know if you guys want to give it a shot, just let me know. All right? Thanks, guys, and I'll have that video out probably in the next week or two. Thanks.